Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance and Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here, of course, for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Episode 4. Overdrive.
Yeah, yeah. So, you think this is because the story's about now to kick into Overdrive? That's the name of the episode?
That is a possibility, just maybe. Now, it also makes me think of, like, they're going to introduce maybe some kind of, like, power system here. Because, like, Overdrive, that sounds like some sort of, like, really cheesy technique. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Maybe not a power system, but just, like, an ability or a move or something.
Yeah.
I could see it also being kind of a thing to show the acceleration of kind of the themes of everything. Just kind of moving forward a little bit. Maybe a time skip or something.
Yeah,
kind of
yes.
get a little bit of recap as to what happened with Dio and all that. But before we even get into that, guys, we need to let you know we goofed up last week.
Just a little bit.
We didn't watch the end credits scene for episode 3.
Apparently there was one.
And it's apparently really good. So we're going to quickly watch it and then get into the episode. Ah, the rubble. Who
Dio
comes out of the rubble?
crawling out.
Oh.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh!
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
That's new.
Okay.
Alright.
That kind of changes things.
It does, just a little bit.
It's really funny that our discussion was based solely around the idea that Dio was like, what, was he dead? Is he dead? No, he couldn't be dead. But, like, we don't know.
Yeah, and
so now we know Dio's alive. Not only that, he might be impossible to kill now. If he went through all that, he lived, and he essentially just needed to drink someone in order to regenerate or something like that.
And it looked like he had some kind of, like, chitinous layer or armor on it.
I think that's not armor. I think that's just that he was burned.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, his whole body was deformed and scarred and just
But he was shown to have regeneration.
Yeah, but his regeneration essentially was weak enough that it would.
Okay, I could kind of see that maybe.
And it was stimulated by the fact that he got new blood to feast upon.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, do you still think we're going to be getting a time skip?
Yes, but not necessarily a
big one.
A big one, not like a 10-year one or something.
Sure.
More like, another 6 months or
maybe 2 or 3 years,
maybe a year. I don't think it's going to go beyond a year.
Okay, all right, because they have to keep the main protagonist the teenager, right?
No, because they have to keep this whole story with Dio kind of there, but in the background.
Right.
Because if he goes too long without seeing Dio, then he'll have kind of, forgotten about him.
Sure.
I think the Dio thing needs to be a little bit more present, and we need to see the more emotional reaction of Jonathan with his whole thing.
Okay.
And then bring in maybe some more characters and stuff as well.
Sure.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, let's actually get into the 4th episode and see what happens. Yes. Everything.
Oh, this guy's still around.
Yeah.
Give him the will to live.
Overdrive. Yes. Determination and spirit.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so not a whole lot of time kind of passed.
No. Oh. Erina?
I believe so.
Yeah, Erina. Yeah.
Oh, and she falls tragically ill.
Speedwagon is hilarious.
He is pretty great. Someone else for Dio to munch.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Dio.
Whoa.
What the heck?
Huh? Are you kidding me?
Oh no, it's too happy, Jacob.
Yep. Watch. She's gonna get her mind controlled.
I don't know, but we'll see. Who's this little con artist looking guy?
Has he been taken over by Dio, you think?
I don't think so.
What?
What? Holy crap.
But it doesn't seem like they're setting it up to be a serious fight or anything.
I think he's trying to help him. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my god. These visuals, what the heck?
Looks like we might be getting a power system, you think?
Ah, that's his power, overdrive.
Nice, okay.
私は君の横隔膜を指で突き、そして特別な呼吸法にしたのだ。特別な呼吸法？呼吸が起こすエネルギーを見せてあげよう。
Oh my gosh, this is amazing!
Is he gonna turn that frog into like a super frog or something? Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's like vibrations.
Yeah.
Oh, he's showing the level of control he has.
Ah, okay.
That's brilliant. By
Nice.
hitting the frog.
Yeah.
Sendo. Okay.
Hamon
or ripple energy.
Okay.
Oh, he does. Okay. Dang, okay. Dio's alive.
There we go.
This is the direction the story needs. Yep. Destroying the mask. Yep.
Alright.
Cool. There's a goal for you.
Right.
Oh, and humanity will fall.
Oh, it's already one of those, huh?
There's a chosen one, of course.
Right.
Oh my gosh, he just keeps taking people. Oh. Oh.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, he's really taking this,
Yeah.
control the, yeah.
I wonder if it's actually the mask that's doing this.
Ah, the why is very important.
このツェペリ、ウィル・エイ・ツェペリは若かった。そしてアステカ遺跡へ発掘に行った時のこと。まさか。そう、こともあろうか。あの石仮面は私が偶然発掘したものなのだよ。
Okay. How to get in George's hands
その帰国
then?
途中で、タイの中の一人が何かのきっかけで仮面を発言させた。
Yeah.
私は海に飛び込んだが、そいつは追ってきた。その時、夜が明けた。
Ah, gotcha.
朝日の光で初めて見えた。そいつの顔は発掘隊の隊長。私の父だった。
Oh, frick, dude.
Wow, okay.
Feels bad, man.
That sucks.
Hype man.
どうしたんだ。
よっしゃ、なぜ止めた。
Because he's dead.
気をつけろ。ここは太陽が届いていない。
Yeah.
おい、業者。
What the heck? Oh.
Okay. No, it's someone else.
二人とも
Actually, it could be Jack the
馬か
Ripper.
ら離れていなさい。
Oh. Oh, what the heck?
Oh, right?
It's Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the warping of the side to show the fear of it.
Yep. Now, does Zeppeli have a glass of blood there?
Yeah, I think so. Oh.
What?
Oh! Shish kebab, the director.
Yep. Okay.
I really want to know what the deal is with this drink.
Yeah.
飲みっているよな。ちっぽけな虫けらの飲みじゃよ。あの虫は我々巨大な人間にところ構わず戦いを挑んでくるな。これを勇気と呼べるだろうかね。飲みどものは勇気とは呼べんな。では勇気とは一体何か。勇気とは怖さを知ること。恐怖を我が物とすること。
Okay, I like that definition.
呼吸を乱すのは恐怖。だが恐怖を支配したとき。
Oh, that's a cool connected point to this whole thing.
Nice. So.
This is also great. His eyes just.
Yeah. That was cool.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously? Wow.
戦いの思考その3じゃ。北国ノルウェーにこんなことわざがある。北風が勇者バイキングを作った。そのワインを一滴たりともこぼしてみろ。その時はたとえ奴を倒したとしても、わしはお前をもう見捨てる。
Wow.
Okay.
わかりました。北風がバイキングを作ったですね。
Oh, struggle. He's saying that the impossible task created the Viking culture.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an impossible task to see if it'll make you into a Viking. Make you
Gotcha.
someone worthy of becoming something great. Oh,
Okay.
heck.
明かりを消さなければ狙われるだけだ。これはハモン。そうか。北風はこのワインだ。
All right.
風を伝われハモン。戦闘ハモン。オーバードライブ。
Overdrive.
And.
What? Oh, what?
All right. Okay. That's the pace they're going with this.
Okay. Well, it was a fight. It was a power system.
It was, yeah.
And it was a technique, technically. Overdrive in particular. It was
yeah.
JoJo's first technique.
So,
wow. We got dumped on by like some serious exposition. Holy crap.
Did the main character just make up a move on the spot to defeat an enemy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And
with the power system they just like established this episode.
Exactly. One of the things that I think that this show has a theme of doing so far is the pace of what's actually being communicated is frantic. Exactly. Yeah. But the story pacing is not. So what you get is this really fun cognitive dissonance between Dio's going to be around for a while. Like they just based on how this is set up,
it's literally like the One Ring and like
what?
The mask, you know.
The plot device that will bring to yeah. I see what you're saying with that. But I'm saying that Dio is now going to be this like grand villain and stuff, and they're going to fight minions of his and learn all these things along the way, and they're going to spend entire episodes focused on Hamon and the energy that, you know, the frequencies and the ripples,
stuff.
all the breathing, and that stuff's good, and it's going to give it to us very quickly. So they're assuming their audience is intelligent enough to be able to take all that in.
Right.
But they're also giving so much of it at a fast pace that they're kind of covering both bases,
but at the same time glossing over the details. Like
yes.
we have no idea why Dio suddenly wants to take over the world. We have no idea how Zeppeli knows the world itself is in danger.
So we have a very decent idea of why Dio wants to take over the world.
In very loose.
No. It's a very stereotypical reason, but the reason is because he loves power. Like, he actually loves it. Like, when you see him in a powerless state, he's like, "Oh, Father, I will come back with power."
I totally
or
get
not
that.
come back. He's like, "I will get power."
Yes, but it's not something that is ever stated. It's only something that is implied.
But that's showing, not telling. It is kind of. I would
okay.
say that in a way, Dio is an example of a showing, not telling villain.
Well,
which is pretty good, I would say, for a typical megalomaniac, psychopathic, crazy.
I'm not saying
madman.
that the way they're doing this is bad at all, because the way they're making this show be paced so far, I really have no clue where it's going to go because they did so much in this one episode, just like they did in the previous 3 episodes.
Yes.
So the fact that they're not actually taking the time to have Dio come to some realization of like, no, I actually want more. It's not just, the Joestar estate and all that stuff. I want the world. Maybe that's what.
Well, he did say that in the 3rd episode when he was talking about what this power would give him. Because once he felt it, he's like, "Oh, this is so
I'm above
good.
humanity and all that stuff." Yeah.
But that was his philosophy, was that he could basically overcome the whole idea of human scheming by becoming something that's not human.
Yes.
And now that he's experiencing that, he's reveling in it. He's kind of like a child in that respect.
Oh, absolutely.
He's
Most
gotten
megalomaniacs are.
Well, that's a good point, but he's got this toy and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to show off my pretty toy and play with it for, with everyone."
All right.
So, but this new character, Zeppeli, oh my gosh. I love the combination where you have this main character who's kind of a potato.
Like vanilla, lawful good.
Yeah, exactly. He's great. But then they have the hype man, and then they have this ridiculous, sensei guy.
I think Speedwagon is probably my favorite of the 3.
Speedwagon I wasn't ready for him in the 3rd episode.
Because, in the 3rd episode, he didn't really have time to show his true colors, because there was that overwhelming conflict of Dio being a vampire and all that, right? But...
You know what's funny, though? It's going to be weird to edit him, because... within the story's plot of this episode, one of the things that I've been using as a tenet to kind of make sure that we keep in a good section of the 10 minutes is we get the important scenes with relevance to the story and main characters. Yes. But Speedwagon might now be a main character. And the problem is that everything he says is not really relevant to the story.
Yes, that's true. But it's great.
It's great because he's basically extra commentary. He's a reactor within a show that we're reacting to.
That's meta.
He's basically that character that goes, "Oh, JoJo, he's dealing with this in such a manly way."
Let me just say, in a normal show, that would be so annoying.
So annoying.
But because it's JoJo's and because it's over the top, it just fits.
Amazing.
It's just great.
And I love having Zeppeli and Speedwagon in the same scene.
Yes,
because Zeppeli's actually saying some really intelligent stuff for this show. I would say, as of right now, no one has been speaking with that level of making sense.
Right, because a lot of the stuff they're saying is so over the top. It's not really something that has much traction as ideas or thought processes or whatever.
But he basically broke down, albeit very, not repetitively, but very extensively what this Hamon frequency energy is. Right. And I got some pretty good vibes from it, because I would say that's what this show's power system is good vibes. Is basically that the entire energy of the universe runs on good vibes
and true love and all that stuff.
But I would say it's not those simple words. It's just the good vibes. Think about it. feeling good.
Yes, it is literally the power of good versus the power of evil.
Right. But that makes it more mythological, because then you get down into it and it's like, oh, it's the core stuff. It's not it's not just the breathing. The breathing is actually the honing mechanism to
because you're breathing,
conduct the Hamon energy.
Because your breathing can quite strongly control your emotions.
Absolutely. In fact, that's real world stuff. Because this show has like such a huge disconnect from the real world in so many places.
It's really surprising when you see something that actually is rooted in
exactly in reality. And you get into this stuff like frequencies and vibrations and stuff. You get into actually how the fundamental, like, you know, at the molecule atomic level of how the world works. So when someone's basically saying, I can hone in and control the vibrations between matter, and they're saying it's closer to light, they're saying like, hey guys, we're gonna pseudo sci-fi this show for a second, like just for a little bit. I know it's all fantasy JoJo, you know, ridiculousness, but that's kind of them going as close as they can to like the Force and midichlorians and stuff without going into the actual problems of having midichlorians or something like that.
Now, okay. So in this episode, I just want to like list off the things they did here.
Yes,
they introduced an antagonistic like minion villain and killed him off in the same episode.
Yep.
They introduced a power system.
Yep.
Trained the main character in it, and had them invent a new move to defeat a new antagonist all in the same episode.
Yep.
And they also established what the previous baddie was up to, and that apparently he now can control people's minds.
Yes.
Among potentially other things. Who
knows?
They
set the stakes with a whole lot of kind of mini tentpole stuff that they could do in the beginning that makes it seem episodic when actually it's a launching pad for the rest of potentially even the show.
Right. And I love the fact that they had Dio show that he could do mind control at the beginning before they introduced the power system.
Yes.
Because it set the stakes, or the tone, so to say, for the power system that JoJo would get introduced to. Because otherwise the whole idea of him making up a move to defeat a bad guy might seem like it might have been harder to go along with.
Sure.
But since they established that crazy stuff can just happen like it did with Dio.
But it's all associated with blood.
Right.
That's actually the point that I was about to hone in on when you were saying that, is that Dio's whole power comes from blood.
Right.
And now we find out that JoJo's
also
energy
comes from blood.
and also comes from, to an extent, the it's not actually coming from the blood, it comes from something deeper. So what they're actually showing is a precedent for how JoJo's power is already stronger, because he's using something that blood is just the means to send the oxygen through the breath to the body and all that. The blood is, again, just a transportation system like it is in our real bodies for fuel, nutrition, oxygen, all these good things. But in this, they're saying basically the good vibes gets transported through the breathing to the blood to the body, which gives it the energy to do the things that you can.
Right.
I love this. Like, I can mechanically understand it to where they'll do ridiculous things, and then I infer in my head a pseudo possibility as to how it works within this kind of catch-all energy system.
Right, and it's catch-all because they don't really go into the details, so that way you can kind of hold it loosely, because it's in your head. They're not going into details of this is how this works and this and this and this, because then if they want to do something crazy, you could call them out on it and be like, wait a minute, you can't do that.
Right. Do you want me to... I want to say this while we're clicking on the blood thing real quick, but because the blood thing is superseded by the energy part, they basically just told us how Dio will get defeated. Like, they basically just said that good vibes, this Hamon energy, it is by its nature above.
Yeah.
The whole thing of interacting and messing with the blood is just, like, pure pittance, like, basic level power compared to the frequency that is Hamon energy. He could just shut down Dio's power with good vibes. Like, that's what this show could do.
Okay.
He could just tap him on the shoulder and be like, Dio, it's not your fault. Or, Dio, I believe in you, or Dio, the power of good vibes compels you.
Your mask will pierce the heavens.
Yes,
whatever.
and then the whole thing is with light and beauty, and it's
okay.
Amazing. So, anyways,
now what I was going to say was that the fact that both of their powers are essentially derived from blood to an extent.
Yes,
and there was this whole idea of them being brothers or not, and being blood related or not. I just think that's kind of a cool parallel that they're throwing in there.
Yeah, that is good,
especially since, and again, I know we've kind of mentioned this, but Dio was wanting to suck the life energy out of JoJo's family before he became a vampire. But
well, yeah, that's a good thing we brought up in the previous episode, is that Dio is basically becoming more and more that which he already was, but it's becoming more physically evident, and he's unable to hide it.
Yes.
In a way, it's the theme of evil always shows its true face eventually. It's the idea that Dio was a bad person before he became a vampire.
Right.
He had malicious and selfish
and now it's just getting
and egotistical intent in his heart.
Yeah.
And now he just has the means in order to inflict his essentially his twisted will upon others.
Okay.
Which I think the mind control thing actually
is a reflection of
that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So does that mean that so the mind control thing is a reflection of who Dio is and the kind of person he is.
Right.
And that kind of goes along the same vibe as what JoJo's powers seem to be. Then does that mean they're going to be constantly making up new powers as the show goes along?
Absolutely. One of the things that I don't think that they'll be making up new powers is they'll make up new techniques. And the techniques will be different ways in how to direct Hamon energy.
But if it's literally the Force, then they could do just about anything.
And I think that's good, because what they're doing here is they're shoving as much explanation as they want to in one episode, because we're about to see some weird stuff.
Yes.
Things are about to go even more bizarre, and that's just the nature of this show, is that they'd ramp up things so that we're prepared for the bizarre, and we're not going in thinking, wow, why'd this show get all weird all of a sudden?
Right. Hey, they're pulling Deus Ex Machinas out of their butts. It's like, no, that's very much an ingrained part of the story.
Right, and it's not going to be just the main character. It's going to be all of them.
Right, which could make for some very, I'll just say, very strange.
Right. Here's another thing that they made in this that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Is one of shonen story problems is you have this whole problem of escalation, and the powers essentially getting too big too fast for the main character and everything. But if the main character has a thing where they are basically the kind of chosen one, they always win everything, you can have it where you have the main character are always essentially winning, but you have them always learning. So one of the things that I've noticed that main characters will do is they will actually stop learning after a certain point.
Yes, and that's very frustrating, especially...
Very frustrating.
And it's usually preceded by them equating learning with developing new powers.
Yes. So with this, I see more of a creative aspect where Jonathan Joestar, or JoJo, is constantly evolving his own abilities through
by coming to a better understanding of himself and other people.
Well, also this Hamon energy stuff.
Right, yes.
And then by extension, yes.
Yeah, okay.
The rest of everything.
Now, one thing I want to point out is that the Jack the Ripper, right?
Yes.
They hinted at him in the first episode.
Yes, they did.
Now, that was the only thing they hinted at in the first episode as far as specific people or things like that. They introduced him and they eliminated him all in one episode. So does that mean that we're coming towards the end or close of this arc?
No, I think because that was the end of the prologue. Basically, what they did as this is they closed the prologue off entirely. They gave new goals, they gave new direction. Yes. We now know that essentially JoJo's goal is not just to stop Dio, it's to stop anyone that wields this mask.
Right. Okay.
And I think that goal is relatively small for now, but if the mask becomes this constant thing that gets passed around and gives people, like he said, the ability to unlock the fullest potential of their brain.
But we won't be able to defeat Dio until the mask is destroyed.
Potentially. One of the things I also see this show doing is that Dio will never die. Like, one of the things they could do is Dio will constantly get defeated. JoJo will either do the thing of not killing him, and regretting it later, or they're going to do the thing where Dio is going to be constantly evolving with JoJo.
So, like a Vegeta thing?
No, just like I don't like the comparison to Vegeta because it's so basic.
Okay.
I mean like a true rival in the sense that they are both actually growing and learning, and Dio just learns slower in more bursts, maybe.
All right,
like,
sure,
he won't learn consistently, whereas JoJo will.
Okay.
I could see them going the thing where they end Dio's reign of terror at some point.
Maybe like lock him away in some
I just
coffin beneath the earth. Or
right,
whatever.
I just see Dio as being such an intense, dramatic character.
They're not going to get rid of him.
That they're never going to get rid of him entirely. If anything, they will do the thing where they'll lock him away, and then someone will free him at some point in the future. Because
and then that will be a possibility for the resurgence of the "but it was I, Dio" meme.
Well, yes, but the fact that Dio is set up to be this primary antagonist in the beginning, and they're not setting it up like there's something else beyond him, means that
that's true.
Means that Dio will at the very least always be a rival, but he might not always be
the biggest bad.
Bad, exactly.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So maybe there is a Vegeta comparison there. I just don't like DBZ enough to compare the two.
Right. Me neither.
But I am really liking this now. like this episode was really good. Third episode is still my favorite, but this fourth episode shoving in so much stuff in a way that actually seems to be respectful towards us as viewers. I don't know. Did you feel talked down to? Like, I only felt talked down to when they made the humor bits, and then I remembered this is a cheesy JoJo show.
Right.
And that stuff I never feel condescended to by that.
Right. It wasn't, I didn't feel talked down to. It was more of just like, okay,
this is ridiculous.
They're doing the power system. This is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. They're going way into it, like 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Like, just all right now.
Right.
And that was maybe a bit like, that was a bit jarring for me, but it's like, okay, well, hold on. If they really want crazy stuff to happen, they need to set the precedent, and then... Right. And now, hopefully they'll be able to move forward without needing to stop every fight to talk for 30 seconds,
Do you feel good about the way that they introduced this character? William
Zeppeli?
A. Zeppeli?
Yeah, it was... There's not really... They don't really explain why he was there, other than maybe he sensed JoJo's presence, or
to an extent. I keep saying that phrase, but what it could have been was he said, "No one knows of this mansion's accident or what have you." Maybe he had been keeping his eye on the estate, and then suddenly something happens, and he's like, "Oh, I got to go over there," and he finds JoJo leaving. Wounded. He's like, you had a battle against the mask, because I can obviously tell you're not something else.
And he was hunting the mask, so that probably means he can tell where the mask is. I think that was mentioned.
That's true, but there's also the huge possibility that he knew Jonathan's father.
Yes, that is an absolute possibility.
Did you get that vibe that with the
completely.
whole father's death, they both lost their fathers kind of thing?
Now, okay. This is a big if.
Okay.
If they wanted to move the villain to be someone other than Dio, which they probably won't, I am 92%
Well, not anytime
sure.
soon.
Not anytime soon.
No.
What if they made Zeppeli be a villain?
Oh, no.
Where he was actually hunting the mask to take it for his own.
Possibly.
Like, they're not going to do that, but I just want to throw that out there.
I think that in the end credit scene of the third episode, when they had the other guy who gave Dio the poison, he went to go look for the mask.
Right.
And it was like, oh, wait, a potential new bad guy. And then, nope, Dio just you thought you were going to get the mask, but it was me, Dio!
Yeah.
That aspect kind of threw away the idea in my mind that we would get another mask wielder anytime soon.
Right. Yeah, okay. Fair point.
I know that this show is structured into arcs. Like that there are arcs at some point, but arcs are different than necessarily seasons. So we don't know if this is going to be a thing where the show will have like an entirely different antagonist, or if it will like change themes a little bit, or if there'll be just a time skip. Like we don't know. So
now, okay, here's just something I want to throw out there.
Yeah.
Every time that they've shown the mask, you know, getting onto somebody, it's just like, oh, boom, sunlight, and they're gone.
Right.
So even if there ends up being all these like crazy developments and powers or whatever, you know, however they decide to escalate it to keep things interesting, the idea that, you know, JoJo could just fight Dio in the daytime and, you know, not under cover of anything, and Dio's just gone like forever. Yeah, that seems like, I'm wondering if they're actually going to do something with that, or will it just always be in the dark in some
they're gonna do
cavern
that.
Or
no, they're going to use that. I think that's going to be a huge thing at some point in the future, because it's a mechanic that is the inherent limiting factor of the bad guy just coming and killing JoJo in his sleep.
Right. Yes.
You know, it's the thing of where he can't really go exploring that well unless it's really dark.
Yeah.
It also makes him really the truly evil, you know, kind of villain in the shadows, like the literally in the shadows, which just kind of sits there and plots and sends out minions.
Right.
And I like that, because that's the Sauron, that's the Palpatine, it's all the villains that are too above humanity to go and deal with things in themselves.
Sauron, when he would actually like get serious, he would darken the sky.
Yes.
Before he sent his minions out.
Yes.
So, you know, that could be a way that, like, if it ever gets to that point.
If we're getting to the point where Dio is developing like psychic powers right now because he can mind control people, eventually what if he gets psychokinetic powers where he can actually start to manipulate the environment?
Right.
I think that's very soon, because that's basically what Dio is doing. Dio is using a form of psychokinetic energy to interact with his will to the environment.
Yeah.
In a way that is funneled through his breathing and his understanding of this Hamon energy.
That's for JoJo.
That's for JoJo, yeah.
For Dio, it's just the mask.
Yeah, for Dio, it's the mask and the blood.
Right.
That's a cool point, though, is that they did say, though, that the mask in the first or second episode helps people like reach the fullest potential by like unlocking their brain.
Yeah.
So Dio's brain is full of junk and crap. He gets unlocked and gets all this power and magnifies his own ridiculousness. So maybe there is some mask influence in there. But does that mean that the mask will continue to unlock? And this is just Dio's first form, you know. This is that thing where Dio will continually evolve and get stronger. I think it has to happen. Like it almost has to happen. Otherwise, Dio will get beaten in like 10 episodes.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true.
Like Dio, if he doesn't evolve, JoJo's gonna just with this pacing, he's going to skyrocket
with the rate of power progression that we've been shown so far.
Yeah,
Dio kind of needs to be going at a clip pace in order to not get left behind.
Right, or he needs to be recruiting a ton of followers and really stay hidden. Right. I would actually like that kind of a mental battle at some point where JoJo...
They're not going to do the cat and mouse thing.
They're not going to do that, but they could actually have the point where Dio is essentially playing the mental battle and JoJo is trying to essentially send a message to Dio that this needs to stop. And Dio's like, I will never stop!
Okay.
JoJo! You know? And all that. So,
Possibly.
I don't know.
But,
I want to see them talk again.
Yes.
Like, the fact that they built up the 3 episodes and this is the first time where we haven't seen Dio and JoJo in the same room together, I'm already missing it. Like,
you know, I hadn't realized that until you said it, but that is a great point.
Isn't that a great point?
Yeah.
Like,
and that really says something about the show and well, in this case, probably mainly just the villain, because I mean, like JoJo, he's pretty bland right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's great. You know, the show's great, but Dio is the real, like, he has that magnetism for whenever him and JoJo are in the room together. Mm-hmm. That's impressive because, again, we're only 4 episodes in.
Yeah, it is
and
impressive.
We're already waiting for the epic, like, rematch.
Exactly.
This would be the 3rd battle, right? Between Dio and JoJo?
Yes.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, because they were on each other's team in the rugby thing.
Right.
So yeah.
And there was the time that they fought, and then after Arena, then they fought again.
So no, this is 4th.
Yeah.
This is 4th.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay.
Well, it will be the 4th. We've had 3 thus far.
Yes, it will be the 4th. Right. So
wow.
Are we just gonna get like one every episode, basically? Like
wait, I just saw a picture in my head. Imagine this: JoJo is getting beaten by Dio.
Yeah.
Dio is darkness incarnate, and it switches to that perspective view where everything kind of shifts into different shades of like purple and green and blue and
for like the internal monologues.
Yeah, exactly. And then JoJo just like summons forth all his Hamon energy, and he just beats him by the power of light and sunlight, and it's just like. This beauty colors like interwoven and pierce the monologue shaded colors of Dio's mind.
All right, that would be, if they do end up doing that, that would be a very cool effect where it's the internal monologue like background, and then suddenly like
the
cracks
Hamon
of
energy
light,
like pierces through and breaks it.
That would be cool.
I just saw that in my head. I'm like, that would be so good.
I mean, they could pull that kind of ending for it off. They could totally do it,
or just in any fight, you know.
Yeah, or in any fight, really. Yeah. But I hope that's not like the. I hope that's not all it is. Like, I don't
no. I'm just saying, like, I just was imagining, like, where could this go? And I just saw this picture in my head.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool.
Oh man. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for voting for this show.
This is amazing.
Jacob and I didn't know what we were missing.
We really didn't.
And we're really happy that we get to experience this with all of you, because I can't imagine have watched this like 5 years ago or something, because I think I was first told about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure almost right when it came out as the anime.
That makes sense, because it was already a really big thing before then. So
right, and I had watched enough anime that I was willing to kind of go, oh, maybe I'll take a look at it. But I think all I did was I saw a few like images, and it was just too weird looking for me. And maybe I wasn't as cultured as I am now to be like, I respect this work. I was only willing to watch shows like Death Note or
Bleach.
Attack on Titan or something. I'm like, I can't watch this. This is too strange, bizarre.
Yeah. But what I'm just blown away by is there was a point where I really thought, like, you know what, I've watched all the good anime that are out there, and
that's such a trap. It's a trap.
And it's like, holy crap, we have come across so many amazing shows now, and it's like, how did I not watch these already?
Right. All right, guys. Well, if you want to watch the next episode right now, go check out our Patreon in the link in the description below. Also, you can get on Discord with us through our Patreon. Be pretty awesome to see you there and chat about anime and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you again next time. But until then, Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.